And I realized this was back on a token ring network. And a lot of your listeners will have to go back and look into the archives, maybe go hit Wikipedia or something and look up what a token ring was. BNC connectors and coax. Yeah, I know. I'm old. Deal with it. But, I was taking a drafting course and realized that if you search the network, this was long before, people understood the concepts of security on networks and passwords. Our teacher had every one of our tests, the final exams, all sitting in a folder that was completely wide open. So I credit my first network hack to that class, and I wound up stealing all of that stuff and selling it on the side and made a really good side living, my last 3 years of high school. Unfortunately, the criminal acts eventually wound up leading me to being incarcerated for a couple of years, got out of that, and, wound up gravitating towards motorcycle gangs. So again, it was one of the only things you really had to do to fit in there was just be willing to drink, act like a jerk, and go with the flow. So that became my life for the next, God, 10, 15 years or so. And it wasn't until I had my first granddaughter that I looked at my life and realized that everything that I was doing was not productive and I was not a good example. And my entire persona just shattered in that moment. And I remember looking at this infant and not being able to not see every mistake that I had made with my own children, society, and my life. So I made it a promise that day in that hospital room that, I was going to change. So I quit the gangs. I was able to get out in good standings. So I have no problems with them. And I decided to take all of the skills that I had learned over the years of committing cyber crime. And I decided to put that into cyber defense. And I actually started going to work for an Israeli cybersecurity company that I stayed with for about the next 11 years. During that time, I've been able to travel all over the world as a technical evangelist. I presented research in 73 different countries. I've presented in front of the European Union ministries and multiple cyber emergency response team meeting conferences for the Baltic states as well as the European Union.